Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of gold and silver. I'll give you my financial opinion. Please don't use it as advice. We're going to jump right into it. We're going to start with the dollar, 10-year yield, and move on forward. Dollar, sideways to flat. We've been moving sideways to flat the entire time with the dollar. And no real progress in any direction, just sideways. The 10-year yield moved up 1.4%. This does look like it wants to bounce around a little bit after this, I'd say, surge higher here. We'll see where it goes. I'm not really too worried about it. I think eventually we'll see a uptrend in yields. We've broken the long-term downtrend if we zoom out for yields. I think that higher yields are in the cards for some time. You can see this thing starting to turtle head out and potentially break higher. I think we could see some resistance at around the 3% area if we can get that high and get that much momentum going. Looking at gold. Gold up again, $11 today, quite solid. It's still trucking higher. Everything looks good. We've broken the 1870 level, clear break. We are now above the $1,900 level. This level here is a little bit of resistance. That's what we're trying to get through next. And we are turtle heading above that resistance line as we come up. So everything's looking quite solid for gold. For silver, we've got the 2450 level breaking potentially today. Depends where we close. I'm talking about this aftermarket's at 2454. I mean, we're right there at that resistance level. I think if we can get above this and close above it and stay above it this week, very big progress for silver. I think we could be seeing the next leg up in gold, silver, and all these other ones. And then platinum's up $20. It's looking good. It's finishing strong. My boy Platty looking fantastic. So that's up 1.86%, basically the same percentage as silver. So silver and platinum are outperforming gold. Everything's looking good. XAU to gold ratio means that we had a little bit of a return move the past couple of days. We're heading on higher here. Does this mean it's a bottom? Tough to say, guys. I would be a buyer either way. It doesn't matter. We've broken the downtrend line. In this general vicinity, anywhere in here is a good buy point, in my opinion, for gold and silver mining companies. I am hoping that this ratio moves on higher. It usually does in the beginning of gold and silver, I should say precious metals bull markets. They usually outperform, which means the mining companies do very well in the beginning of a bull market. And this ratio on a long-term perspective is down here in no man's land. If we can break the 0.0, well, we can break above this level here and start rocketing higher here, I think this looks fantastic for a long-term hold. So the gold and silver mining companies look good for a long-term hold. Obviously, I've been saying that. We've got a little pennant formation happening here. We have an update today. We're right at the top of this resistance line in this formation. We'll see if we can break it for Karora Resources. Karora Resources looking good. I've got the big long-term perspective picture breaking higher. EXK on the short term looking good, getting some nice, good, solid buying pressure today, up 7.3%. So that one looks good. We still have to break this downtrend line that we're coming up to attack. I'd like to close above at least 470 to create a little bit higher high here. SILJ, it's doing the turtle head. It's got a little wick at the top. It's trying to peek through its downtrend line. So that's looking good. GDX is staying above its support line. It sold off yesterday, bounced back today, looking good. I like how the buyers stepped in and responded, and we're right at the top of this support line. So that looks good. Metallic minerals, I did add some down here, guys. I did do it. It's a small little silver exploration company. I didn't add too much money, but I did add some money. And the long-term big picture view looks quite compelling for a move higher. So I did buy some down here. I think it's quite cheap. And I said, why not? Koya Resources is another one that I would add into down here. It's been decimated to the downside, and I like buying these small little silver mining companies kind of as lottery tickets, so to speak, or high risk. Well, I wouldn't say high risk. I would say very high rewards, and the downside risk is limited based off of where they're at. So I sprinkle a little bit in, and no, they're not my largest holdings. Another one that I would sprinkle in right now is Discovery Silver. It's got a nice, good bullish engulfing pattern right here. This usually resolves itself to the upside. So that's one I like, especially if we can close above 24.50 like we have on silver. And if we can stay above it, I think these will follow very soon, shortly thereafter. AG up 2% today. That's looking quite solid if it comes on up. We're right below the resistance. We still got to break through this resistance line. It's not a strong one, but it's looking okay. Newmont, bullish engulfing. This one's going to resolve itself higher, and it's right at resistance of this big old long-term resistance line that we're at. We break through that. I don't know. We've got a lot of clear sky above us. Mag Silver getting a little bit of a sell-off today. I just kind of threw this in here. Resistance. A line coming on down. It's to the downside. We'll break to the upside, I think. AUY still ripping higher. It is broken out of its pattern. You guys should have already been in it where I drew this little box in here saying that this is a good support area to be buying, and we've just rocketed higher. Impact Silver, bullish engulfing. If you guys like Impact Silver, now's the time to pick up a little bit. Pepper it in. That's what I would do. AAGFF, I bought at the low today. Pretty lucky at 29 cents is where I got in, and it closed quite strong. So that's good for me. I bought it kind of early in the day. Let me see if I can actually see. Yeah, I bought it like somewhere in here early in the day, and then we rocketed higher. That's good. That's AAGFF. So I did add a little bit in there. I added a little bit to the small silver producers, guys, and this has a bullish engulfing on a weekly candlestick pattern. That means usually that we're going to start heading higher. So I took some of the ones that were down quite a bit, like Metallic Minerals, Aftermath Silver here, Discovery Silver, and I added a little bit more into it. This is Arcana Silver, AUNFF, and this guy's still remaining quite low. It doesn't look like I see anything that compelling. PLG, Platinum Group Metals, this is one that I do own. I was yelling at it, saying, get moving, bullish engulfing. Let's hope this thing can get moving to the upside here. Sandstorm Gold, this is one I bought down here. It looks good to continue higher, bullish engulfing. That usually resolves itself to the upside. Franco-Nevada, FNV. This is a larger royalty company. These are all royalty companies down here. And Franco-Nevada, I mean, yeah, we're getting a little bit of a pullback yesterday, but it's looking good. Looks like the buyers are stepping in. EMX getting a little bit of a pullback. This is a pretty large sell-off. It may do a little bit of a return move before heading higher. Tune Resources, this is my favorite small emerging royalty company. I don't know if it has any really paying royalties, really, but it has a lot of potential if you're a long-term holder and we get into a very large bull market in precious metals. They have a lot of royalties up in the Golden Triangle area. Wheaton Precious Metals, another one I own. We're starting to break out of this pattern here to the upside. I think we'll see a big move eventually in that. Gold Royalty Company, GROY. This one's kind of in a downtrend. I don't know if I'd be piling into it, even though I own it and I just holding on to it. Metallo Royalties it looks okay. We're still in this big pattern. It'll eventually break. Mavericks Metals, MMX, a little bit of a bullish engulfing. It's going to head higher, probably break out of this pattern, make a lot of people happy. Royal Gold still holding on strong to its gains after a massive move. It may kind of cycle sideways. Maybe not. I mean, if gold starts taking off, I don't see why these wouldn't take off with it. And then we've got Cisco Gold Royalties. This one's got a large pattern, guys. It's this big blue line coming across. Nice, good resistance line. It's basically consolidating in this area here. for, I think, a big move that's going to come higher out of a Cisco Gold when it breaks this line. Be patient. When gold breaks, this will break with it. So, guys, I like the setup in gold, silver, and platinum. It's not like you guys didn't know that if you've been part of the channel. I'm a buyer. I continually add in. I'm a long-term investor holder. Maybe these are cyclical. It's probably going to last about a decade or so, maybe a little less, somewhere 5 to 10 years, something like that is my estimate, depending on the real estate cycle and interest rates. And maybe it lasts longer because maybe we really screw this up trying to put the renewables in and we have an energy crisis that lasts longer. We'll see. But I like these companies, look really good. I would be an accumulator in them, buy it, hold on, and just wait. The rewards here, the risk reward is really good for a large asymmetric bet. I think gold could easily hit anywhere between $4,000 and $15,000 an ounce. I mean, by the end of this. So yeah, 4,000 is pretty conservative. 15,000 is pushing it a little bit, but and it could even break that. It all depends on the psychology of humans and what this inflation rate gets moving to. What does the path look like to there? That's really tough to say. I don't know the path and how all these intricacies move all over the place, but based off ratios, based off how much money, I mean, you could even go higher than that. You could go 50,000 if things get out of control. I'm not calling for any of these numbers, guys. I just know good risk reward. It's very cheap. It almost always does well under an expansionary phase of real estate and an increasing interest rate environment. Gold is on fire because you get real negative rates and you get people wanting to sell bonds and stocks from the increase in interest rates. So I think we're in a very good, ripe position for a move higher for all these metals. Give me a thumb up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.